Hi, so this is just a little video about checking your diastasis. You might already know, but these are just the things to look out for. So what you want to do is you want to come down onto the mat with your knees bent. So what we're going to do is sort of simulating a sit-up, and then we're going to palpate down the midline from the sternum to the pubis. So it's along the rectus abdominis and the linea alba. So the linea alba is the gap between the muscles of the rectus abdominis, so our six-pack muscles. Obviously they meet in the middle, but there's a gap. And in pregnancy, to obviously accommodate the growing baby, the linea alba starts to open and stretch. And particularly multiparous women, so people that have had more than one baby, that line, that separation can take a little bit longer to close up. And in some cases, it doesn't close up at all. Now, this is nothing to be concerned about, because actually you can have a strong and functional core and still have a gap. Men often have a gap. So it doesn't necessarily mean that you can't do certain core exercises, but particularly in the early days postnatally, it's something to be quite cautious about, and certainly avoiding any activities where you can feel that gap getting bigger, or if you can see a pooching or a doming of those midline tissues, that suggests that the core isn't strong enough to withstand the pressure of the move that you're doing, and therefore the integrity is lost because you're having the pooching. So that suggests that that move is not appropriate for you at your postnatal stage. Now, if you can do the moves and there's no kind of loss of integrity of the core, then that suggests that you're okay and good to go, in spite of what may feel like a little gap. If we're talking sort of 2-3 centimetres, 2-3 fingers, that's a warning bell. But with the one finger separation, for some people it may stay just as that, but you may have a functional core. So what I want you to do is come down into a sort of sit-up position, so bent knees, relax back, and then you're just going to sit up with your head and shoulders, and then you're going to palpate down this midline here, and you're going to see, so for me, I'm 2 years postpartum, and I still have a finger gap, but I can also feel the tissues surrounding that are hard. I can feel really good tension in my abdominal tissues, and I can palpate all the way down, and I can see that there are parts where it's slightly bigger, so sort of this size finger might fit in, yet my the strength of these abdominals either side is good, so that suggests to me that I can continue to do the full range of abdominal exercises. But for me, there would still be caution of anything where I'm seeing a little doming or pooching, so just drop down a level. Yeah, because that's obviously too hard for me. So we have to find out what works for us. Don't be terrified if you do still have that separation. But as I say, we just adopt a cautious approach about doing anything that makes it worse, okay? Because you might find if you did a hardcore ab set with lots of very advanced moves, you might actually find at the end of that session, if you reassessed your linea alba, it could be a little bit wider. And some women postnatally have gone straight back into their core, doing all their crunches and sit-ups and all the things that are completely inappropriate for immediate postpartum, and then they've made it wider, and it's actually causing them some troubles. And the problem is, if we are making it wider and wider, we're not respecting the abdominals, we can start to have other problems such as in the pelvic floor, lower back pain, etc, etc, etc. So don't be scared, be respectful, but let's just keep assessing that and seeing whether we're going in the right direction. So if we're coming back, it suggests we're not quite doing the right things. So let's just keep assessing this gap postnatally all the way down, and finding out any areas of weakness, finding out whether we're rebuilding that strength effectively, and whether that gap is starting to feel a little bit smaller each week that we go along.